My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. All right, that's P.O.C. I want you to look at that. Rising up from the ground. There's no airport right here. That's B Street and Metro 102 Apartments. This is the fake moon over my head, moving as I move. This is the Ontario International Airport, which the world is going to witness an entire airport being shut down for being a stalker. The only thing that would come up with that, something that bizarre, something that psychotic, is because they are in fact the Nephilim. These are the demon possessed. All right. And remember, they're flying miles west of this location doing the exact same thing. over the Stater Brothers parking lot, over the parking lot where I'm standing and the fake sun is over me. This is that pattern. It is indeed the pattern of conduct. The entity is doing so with California Highway Patrol. Like I said, Governor Newsom is very much aware about what's going on in the state of California. Governor Newsom is watching me expose this on the internet. Okay? This is the pattern of conduct which Governor Newsom is criminally responsible for, is engaged in the P.O.C. I don't have to be around this person to know that. Okay, I don't refer to demons as men and women. These are creatures. Okay, creatures that have hijacked positions in order to maintain grandfather in this satanic surveillance system. Very much aware of what California Highway Patrol is engaged in, like the California Department of Motor Vehicles is engaged in, where I'm subject to this P.O.C. Okay, the state of California. This is the entity that's engaged in criminal summoning. California Highway Patrol, very heavily documented gang stalker. California State Police are engaged in criminal summoning, stalking me, doing so with the City of Ontario, the Ontario Police Department, while they are, again, very much bothered and triggered by me, coming around and following where I'm located, and this is following the fake moon. They're following. The entity is engaging in what is surrounding. Metro 102 engaged in criminal summoning with the state, the Ontario Fire Department with California Highway Patrol. Okay, this is the P.O.C. So what the entity is doing by the Ontario International Airport is serving, like I stated, to prosecute the entire entity, because it is a pattern of conduct, meaning you don't have one element without the rest of the elements. If they're stalking with the fake sun, it is indeed criminal surveillance. That's why something as supernatural like that is present in the first place. They are only psychopathic to engage in conduct as though something else is happening or nothing's happening at all. Those are the same psychopaths that are going to be diagnosed. They're going to be treated regarding the unlawful threat that they pose with regard to their mental illness as it's exhibited through that malicious behavior. All right, this is P.O.C. Where the airport is stalking, the people of the state are around stalking me as well. They're stalking, all of them. This is the pattern of conduct. I want you to look at this right here. This is why the Ontario Police is being disbanded, in addition to California Highway Patrol engaging in criminal summoning in the city of Ontario. It is currently it's 12:23 a.m. This is a predator. This is a vagina monitor. They're stabbing my feet at night with needles. They're engaged in theft of my property. This is conspicuous surveillance, and this is the unlawful threat posed by the terrorists in the state of California, staring at their devices, demons. This is the P.O.C., vagina monitors that don't say anything to you. Over and under the age of majority, terrorists that are roaming around, undiagnosed, unlabeled, improperly labeled, engaging in criminal activity right in front of your face. These are the terrorists that fill the state of California. And Mike LORENZ is being removed from law enforcement because of it. This is a stalker and a population of them, pacing all around me, obsessing over my vagina, filling whatever library that I'm in all day long while they're stalking under the clear indicator, the specific environment. This is P.O.C. This is what is so disgusting about the people of the state. That information that includes what their names are, their social security numbers, their addresses, their license plates, the names of their children, whatever it is that I have about terrorists, that's exactly what's going to be published on the internet. And you're looking at the impunity with which they engage in criminal activity. These are terrorists that need to be identified. This is the government that engaged in waging war against American citizens. You do not have any privacy, and just because you don't like the fact that you lost in that war doesn't change that. It does not change that. That's the reality. No foreign terrorist has any privacy rights. No domestic terrorist has any privacy rights, and the terrorist is the U.S. government. And that's not some anarchist conspiracy theory. It's the pattern of conduct. It's fact. This is P.O.C. It is currently 12:25 a.m. on what is March 30th, 2026, where the Ontario International Airport is engaged in very particular means of stalking me. And they're also keeping my vagina under surveillance. That is the unprecedented basis to remove a gang stalker that is an Ontario International Airport. It's an international airport that's engaged in the sex offense of surveillance in places like bathrooms. All right. And they're doing so at 12 o'clock in the morning, where the entities just roaming the streets engaging in terrorism. This is what's going on in California. And this is what's being criminalized, and it's being federally prosecuted. This is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 12:25 a.m. The government's being federally prosecuted for that unlawful threat posed to my life. The entity that you're looking at engaging in what is conspicuous surveillance, because that's what's happening when they're all around you, driving all around you, flying all around you as well. That's the government. But I'm talking about the people of the state, the malice of that population, that they're right in front of your face, sitting in front of you, walking all around you, and they're criminally monitoring you. They're stalking you right in front of your face. That is an unprecedented threat, and the government is going to pay the penalty for that. The people of the state are going to pay the penalty for that. Okay? Every status within that defendant, which is the people of the state, meaning the immigrants are being deported. Okay? That's going to be met with deportation. That's going to be met with what is prosecution as terrorists. That's going to be met with those that engage in that conduct, because that's exactly what they do. They think that it's disarming when they're pushing a stroller. No, it's equally threatening, and it's psychotic. That Satan thinks he can put on a costume and engage in that same exact criminal system. It's the same exact identical pattern of conduct. That's called malice. And this is the federal prosecution for that. This is the same entity. They commit murders. And they sit around engaging in psychotic rituals while they celebrate taking the lives of American citizens. That's the reality of what's going on under the fake sun and the fake moon. While the Ontario International Airport's engaged in mentally ill behavior, such as stalking one person. And that's what I have proven. The entire city of Ontario is stalking one person. This is P.O.C. This is P.O.C. It is currently 9:59 a.m. This is the city of UPLAND that's engaging in the pattern of conduct. The fake sun is over me at the Ontario Village Shopping Center, as I took pictures of specifically documenting this yesterday, while the entity is maintaining that pattern of conduct with the Ontario International Airport. That's the city of Ontario that's gang stalking further into murder with the people of the state. And I specifically reminded you about the creatures who are the demon-possessed that procreate, and they engage in that pattern of conduct, including with their children, and they have a behavioral pattern, as I've documented it. They bring more and more children while they include them in their pattern of conduct. This is relevant to what is the pattern of conduct that includes those that are under the age of majority. They are under the fake sun, and this is not over the Ontario Village Shopping Center. It is impossible. And this is the entity that is a sex offender engaging in vagina monitoring. As you see, they do so, engage in sexual violence, and are present, engaging what is, this is the city of Upland calling itself threatening someone while they're with their minor children, exposing them as the mentally ill, the demon-possessed, engaged in criminal activity with the government, as they are all going under the same roof where the fake sun is present at the same time it is over me in Ontario, California. This is P.O.C. Documenting the neighborhood in Upland, California, documenting the people of the state on the roads and the highways. It's the same criminal pattern of conduct, the same government system is underway inside of what is a state facilitating venue under the fake sun at what is 10:01 a.m. This is psychopathic pacing, and doing so, the entity engaging in sexual violence with a means of engaging in that with knowledge of documentation, doing so while they're obsessively engaging in what is stalking. Okay, this is a population of stalkers that are engaged in that, and this is what in all the videos you're looking at, and I'm pointing this one out. This is the entity that's intentionally engaged in stalking at the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven that's engaging in poisoning, where they are stalking in the market itself. They are stalking at the gas stalls. They're stalking on the roads and highways. They're stalking in the sky space, and they are stalking inside of the Upland Public Library. This is P.O.C. It is currently 10:01 a.m. at 455 North Euclid Avenue, where the fake sun remains, as I documented, until the end of the day. So at what is 6 o'clock, the fake sun that's here over the roof where everyone is engaging what is stalking one person, the person that they know is documenting it. That's speaking to the fact that the entity is not only mentally ill, engaging in terrorism, that they engage in terrorism with knowledge of the fact that it is being documented. That is speaking to a specific type of predator that is domiciled in the state of California. All right, the domestic terrorist. The entity keeps the fake sun after 6 p.m. as I'm showing. All right, this is P.O.C. This is the city of Ontario and the city of Upland that are engaging in the pattern of conduct and further into murder. They are the violent sex offenders who are the people of the state. P.O.C. Here's the city of Ontario engaging in ambush conduct together. This is a fake church over here where a demon's stalking with light, and there's a demon stalking with the plane. You see that street sign? It says G Street. All right, that's a far cry from Hawthorne. It's a far cry from the Ovid Family Community Library, but it is within the pattern of conduct. And moments ago, I captured video of the gym gang stalking, a demon stalking with light with their hazards on in front of the entrance. They're monitoring as an entire shopping center. And you'll remember, also, just as an aside, Pizza Hut gang stalking while I'm at this parking lot at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the entity stalking, flying over this same street and doing what is that U-turn over the parking lot while the fake sun was over me. This is sexual assault and battery. The entire city of Ontario, those aren't headlights. This is that same psychopathic pacing. You're seeing the demons. They're not having a conference together, engaging in what is practicing this. It's demonic activity. And this is ambush conduct. The police department is being disbanded for the violence, the gang violence that the mentally ill are engaging in while they are monitoring. And this is what they do to people before they murder them. They stalk them, they keep their genitalia under surveillance, just like you're seeing inside of the Upland Public Library. And the entity's doing this, as I documented, at the gym. Right here, while I'm outside, a demon has their hazard lights on. They're all engaged in psychopathic pacing. The fake moon is on the opposite side of the street. And what is the airport doing? Stalking, coming into alignment to my path and doing a cartwheel right here. In alignment to me over here. There's no airport off of G Street, off of H Street, I Street, Hawthorne, the 10 freeway. There's no airport over here that's off of F or E or D. The entity is engaged in what is stalking, and doing so just like I documented, by the way, where Lester Keys and Jason Knighton committed kidnapping. The Ontario International Airport is being shut down for kidnapping while they're criminally monitoring together with the Ontario Police, which is why when you see the entity sharing in this gang violence, doing so, this is impunity. Understand, they're going to prison as well. They're going to federal prison. The police are being disbanded. The airport's being shut down, and they do not care. They would rather go to federal prison. This is how obsessed the demon-possessed are with me, the one that they plan to murder, the one whose money that they stole. Okay, these little welfare collecting demons that are monitoring vagina are living off of money that belongs to me. They were paid to gang stalk me. And that's also why the Ontario so-called police department is being disbanded. This is P.O.C. This is at G Street right here where my shadow, this is ongoing impunity. All right. This is that entity that refuses to stop stalking. Here's another shadow just so that you know this is not headlights. This is a sex offense. Sex offenders aren't keeping custody of kids. Sex offenders that are in conspiring murder with the government are not staying in the United States. They're immigrants. They're going back to wherever they came from or wherever Mr. Trump finds it best to drop them off. They're not welcome, and that's not an American citizen's concern. They are a threat to national security. You're looking at them engaging in what is gang violence on behalf of the government, with the government. This is monitoring, stalking right here, just walking in it. Okay, representing a communication device, all manner of mentally ill behavior. They're just pacing like roaches all over the place. This is P.O.C. And I went through the parking lot already and I documented the license plates, and that's what I stated. Every single last person that I documented in Upland, California today, in Ontario, California, guess what? They're all being federally prosecuted. Every single last one of them. The entire city of Ontario is, in fact. This is P.O.C. What they do with engineered light is what they're doing with the fake sun. Speaking to the target under a fake moon at night. They're mentally ill. This is the Nephilim. And this is their pattern of conduct. And it is the prosecution for terrorists that are currently residing inside of the United States. This is P.O.C. That's Union Pacific engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. I'm going to prosecute them. You can't hear the train over here off of G Street, nor can you hear it in Tracy's apartment. I documented all that. While the entity is maintaining that fake sun, that fake moon, gang members themselves stalking in helicopter, they are going to be prosecuted. And the entity was stalking by helicopter at Yale and campus this morning, while a psychopath that's gang stalking at home is going to be federally prosecuted. Everybody on that street is aptly documented as co-conspirators of murder. Right? This is the mentally ill population that is requiring martial law. This chaos, this criminal conduct, this lawlessness is what they do together when they're murdering people, because that's what this community does. That's what this state does. That's what this entity does. No police department, no fire department, no gang stalking EMTs, no airport. All right? This is P.O.C. and the people of the state are terrorists. And that's exactly how they're going to be treated under the law. All they do is dress up like it's Halloween every day and call themselves the Ontario Police. They're being removed from position. This is P.O.C. License plate, committing sexual assault and battery, like I just documented, with the communication device 8VZP791, P.O.C. Alrighty, I'm going to document this because they're sharing in the pattern of conduct. I'm being sexually assaulted on the property. They're coming around the corner to share in sexual assault and battery, stalking as I'm going, everywhere that I'm going, like the airport, 8SHV082. This is P.O.C. And it is currently, by the way, 7:47 p.m., where the city of Upland is engaged in the pattern of conduct, as is the city of Ontario, the state of California's criminal pattern of conduct, where the mentally ill are shown to you and clearly recognized in their engineered environment under objects like a fake sun and a fake moon, where there are multiple shadows all over the ground, where they're keeping you under surveillance. And when they are caught, which they never intended, you can see their bare bones mental illness, their bare bones addiction, obsession, as they refuse to stop stalking. That's the pattern of conduct. That's the government that will be made to stand down. They're going to stand down. They will. This is P.O.C. All right, this is the entity that's flying at G Street and Laurel, and this is over while I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library, and that's UPS, hovering, the senior citizen apartment complex. They did the exact same thing over the housing community at what is G Street in Laurel, stalking me, following me while I'm in the city of Ontario, just like I captured this morning. And all of the addresses, the neighborhoods that I show on Google Maps, they're all engaged in state surveillance. I am reporting the entire state of California, and I document many of them by address, by license plate, by capturing what it is that they're engaging in real time, because the feds serve and what are producing these defendants who are going to be prosecuted. This is the entity that's far from what is G Street in Laurel. G Street in Laurel is north of this location, where also they're flying even farther away from the airport. There's no airport over here. But what you'll see in the video evidence is the shared specific environment, which is that is over me while I'm at the gym inside, and the gym is the name of the venue inside of the shopping plaza, where the fake moon is over me in the plaza, where the people are stalking with light, stalking in the path, they're monitoring, and they're stalking with the government that's deviating in the city of Ontario in a commercial plane and engaging in a cartwheel. Doing so by flying in alignment to my path and then making that abrupt turn, that U-turn, that psychopathic pacing, doing so under the fake moon. The fake moon's over G Street and Laurel as I capture that video, and the people of the state are sharing in psychopathic pacing and sexual assault and battery and furtherance of murder while they are gang stalking together under that fake moon. That is over me on the opposite side of that same G Street. This is the entity that falls with the fake moon as it's at the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library. And it is, you'll see that in the video that's documented for 2026-0330 _1, regarding what is nothing other than clear identification of everybody that's being prosecuted, everything that I'm documenting in the videos. And the entity has the fake moon, where the fake sun is placed over the same entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library. And as I move away from that entrance, so does the fake moon. This is where I'm showing the Ontario police are stalking all night long by helicopter, and the entity maintains ongoing pacing by commercial plane right here. It is currently 8:14 p.m. This is the entity following me in the city of Ontario. The images that I capture, the Ontario International Airport is stalking by commercial plane at the 10 freeway as I'm leaving the city of Upland, entering in the city of Ontario, stalking in the path while I'm walking south on Euclid Avenue into the city of Ontario. P.O.C. It is currently 8:15 p.m. Terrorists. They're being documented by their homes, where they live, the neighborhood. It's not just them by themselves, it's the entire neighborhood, it's the entire city, and that's exactly why they're being prosecuted as the terrorist community that they are. Okay? This is a population of terrorists. The government has already conceded. This is a clear admission that you're a stalker. You need to understand that it's the people of the state. The people of the state does not have the same legal definition that it had with regard to the founding fathers of this country. The people of the state is now the identification of the domestic terrorists in the U.S. And they're being federally prosecuted. They're going to prison. They're being deported. They're being removed from children. They are also being removed from the areas of society where they pose a threat, such as in law enforcement, in the medical field, in the legal field, where they are maintaining too much of a threat where they work amongst the public, such as driving public transportation, flying planes. As you see the entity gang stalking with commercial planes, they also engage in crashing them to kill people, them to stalk people. The people of the state are being federally prosecuted, and they're mentally ill. They engage in these things under these objects, which is not the natural environment. This is speaking to a population that is targeting. And you need to be clear, because Paul Leon is being removed from office. They are stalking where Paul Leon maintains a headquarters for Federal Group Stalking Monitoring. This is the Ontario City Hall. This is P.O.C. It's currently 9:50 p.m. This is El Bacone. This is the entity stalking from location to location at the same venue, right? So position to position. That's monitoring. Monitoring is detailed stalking, psychopathic level of stalking, stalking you with activity creation as you move, all right? As you move your body, as you engage in use of your devices. The library is over. The fake moon was over there. All right. The demons were flying over in planes over there. Okay. I have gone to the opposite side of the clock, which is where the fake moon went, which is where the demons are stalking by plane, which is where the people of the state are stalking as well. They are a population, the entire city of Ontario is stalking me. And I want to be clear, the Ontario National Airport has long exceeded what is a basis regarding what is shutting down an airport that's engaged in terrorism. Not only that, this is the bases established regarding martial law, which is domestic terrorism, i.e. gang stalking, and this is the means whereby the U.S. government will implement martial law based on the mentally ill population that are engaging in criminal activities such as stalking as an airport, stalking in commercial planes, stalking by helicopter. And doing so in this environment, which is speaking to mental illness that is shared by a population, corruption that is shared as a population, and with impunity. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's indeed the stalking, light activity, relevant positioning, ongoing audible activity, stalking in the path. And this is what they're doing with regard to touching with impossible light activity. And they're doing so from all angles and committing the exact same conduct by the so-called police department. They're not a police department. They've been exposed as what they are. They are demons that are engaging in corruption in the city of Ontario, and they are revealing what the demons are doing throughout the state of California. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, while the gang stalkers are employed by Allied Universal and Securitas, they're engaging in the pattern. Okay, this is the entity that's engaging in what is molesting with impossible light under the guise of wearing that uniform, which is giving the means whereby you're going to prosecute those companies that are engaging in the pattern of conduct. Okay, this is P.O.C. This is impossible light activity appearing on the bench while a demon. That's the same apartment building where the Ontario International Airport flew over that building, and I went in that parking garage, and it's already on the record, all of their license plates, the sample of defendants. This is the demon possessed. This is Satan. Satan is manifesting by aiming light toward me. And this is also where the entity is keeping the fake moon over me. Target. This is where the entity is stalking by the airport, Ontario International Airport. Targeting. This is P.O.C. This is the mentally ill behavior of a population that commit murder. They're doing this while they are literally very disturbed in their minds. Stalking with light is mentally ill behavior. It is psychopathic. It is while a person is demon possessed, and that is speaking to the behavioral health concern that threatens a population. That's what's stalking in commercial planes. And they're doing so with the city of Ontario. This is what they were doing over the Ontario City Hall. Now they're doing it over here by me at the El Pacone. That's Metro 102 Apartments. Ontario City Hall is over there. So this is the entity you're just looking at that ongoing stalking is under the fake moon. This is the P.O.C. And as you're also looking at it, by the way, the city of Ontario prosecutes the city of Upland. The city of Upland prosecutes the city of Ontario. Mike LORENZ is absurdly psychotic. Okay, Alan D. WAPNER, absurdly, just psychotic. These are demons that are no longer cloaked. Okay, this is not a president of an airport authority. This is a psychopath, Alan D. WAPNER, and everybody on that airport leadership board and everybody on that Ontario executive team. They're going to be federally prosecuted as terrorists. They are threats to the public that are making a lot of money and calling themselves titles in order to make money off of what is criminal activity by airlines that are also sharing in that criminal system, providing instrumentalities of interstate commerce to engage in terrorism of an American citizen, and these companies are going to be federally prosecuted for. This is P.O.C. The entity is targeting in all the ways in which I'm showing you. This is the psychopathic pacing while they're maintaining presence all around me. These are the demons that are engaging in this chaotic conduct, the demon possessed. This is literally the vessels that Satan is using, and this is what you need to know about the demon possessed that are engaging in what is gang stalking. It's demonic activity, and this is the criminalization of it. These are the demon possessed that are engaging in this, and they're doing so while the cities are gang stalking together. That's what you're seeing Upland and Ontario, California engaging together. All right, this is the P.O.C. This has nothing to do with any of the flights that are published on the Ontario International website. Any flights that are coming from Terminals 2 and Terminal 4, where they are flying necessarily miles away to then hover and doing the objects in the sky that are supposed to mimic the natural environment, while they fail, they who are demon possessed fail in mimicking sanity. Okay, and that's the Securitas security guard that is kicking off that pattern of conduct by driving up and molesting with impossible light. And Securitas is gang stalking with the people of the state under the guise of being a security guard, meaning the entity engages in domestic terrorism with those that are at the venue, who lives in that home, who's engaging in landscaping at that home, who's engaging in what is visiting at that home, who's engaged in what is arriving in order to provide any means of services at that home, because that's the entity that is claiming that they belong there, and that's the basis of what is the pattern of conduct. This is the entity that's engaged in psychotic behavior, ongoing, and doing so while they are doing that on behalf of the government. This is in the engineered light where the government is stalking, all right? And this little pipsqueak is engaging in terrorism and furtherance of murder. And this is what they do with the entity that's stalking by helicopters and by airplanes. These are serial killers. These are rapists. These are pedophiles. These are vagina monitors. These are stalkers. And it's all state action. Federal stalking under Title 18. And this is why the government is being prosecuted, and the entire population. The entire population, they're all stalking together. Everybody in their vehicles, they're all stalking together. This is P.O.C. There are no airport terminals over here. This is massive surveillance. And the government's being federally prosecuted. It is domestic terrorism, P.O.C. It is currently 10:09 p.m. You're walking away while your face is being shown. You're still stalking, and you are here because you are stalking me. Do not be deceived by that or tricked by that. Those are demons that want to sexually violate you, but they don't want you to see who they are. They're here stalking me, and you're still stalking while you're in relevant position. They're not going anywhere. They are far too obsessed for that. They're not going anywhere. P.O.C. This is the demon that is stalking in helicopter. Again, this is what the demons were doing this morning by helicopter at Yale and campus this morning, flying right over the people of the state's venue while a psychopath is asking me what I'm doing while you are monitoring at the same time. And you're stalking. You are stalking while you're monitoring, including where they live. At Yale and campus this morning, during the 6 o'clock hour, the Ontario Police Department are stalking me at Yale and campus. While I am at G Street and Laurel, the Ontario Police Department are stalking with the Ontario International Airport as well. I'm at the Ontario Town at what is 10:14 p.m. where the Ontario Police Department is stalking with the people of the state that I'm showing you lurking in the dark with the Ontario International Airport that's stalking, flying over the El Bacon rooftop while they are hovering under what is the fake moon that is directly over the top of my head. This is the entity that is engaging in that pattern of conduct, and everybody that I'm documenting. I'm documenting the people of the state at Yale and campus, co-conspirators of murder. I'm documenting the people of the state at G Street and Laurel, co-conspirators of murder. The people of the state at the Ontario Town Square, where they are stalking, criminally monitoring with communication devices in furtherance of murder when they have already been exposed for stealing my wealth, for defaming my character, and sharing and kidnapping as an entity that engages in criminal summoning, waging false allegations, bearing false witness, co-conspiring in murder, and you're looking at them engaging in gang stalking together. This includes Securitas. That's who that is right now. I just got her license plate. She's gang stalking. It's okay. I'm prosecuting her, and I'm prosecuting that company. The entities engaging in this together, and they are co-conspirators of murder. The Ontario police are being disbanded. Those are stalkers, not police officers. And the evidence has well shown that already. This is the entity that is going to be federally prosecuted. When I say every single last one of them are going to prison, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, and the size of the evidence, the weight of the evidence, all right, the body of evidence more than supports that, okay? It demands it, actually. Justice demands it. And it's not just the demons that are the Ontario police. It's the terrorists of the Ontario International Airport, the terrorists of the Ontario Fire Department, American Medical Response, who share in kidnapping and stalking together as a malicious government actor in concert with the people of the state who share in that, and they are going to federal prison. Engaging in criminal summoning, engage in assault and battery, assault with a deadly weapon, threatening to engage in criminal summoning, systematic, repetitious stalking, ongoing harassment because you're monitoring and you're being documented, and so you engage in more of that as you're looking at that impunity. It's federal prison. All right, this is P.O.C. This is criminal. All right. You're not free to be in relevant position at any apartment complex, outside, in your vehicle, with your foot on the brake, with the lights on. It's criminal facilitation, and the people of the state are going to federal prison. The ease with which and the convenience that they have in criminal monitoring is the ease with which they're being federally prosecuted. All right. This is P.O.C. This is public corruption that's being federally prosecuted, and it's also impunity. It's 10:16 p.m. The Ontario Police Department are to blame for this ongoing public corruption. Sex offenders that are stalkers conspiring murder together, and that's what the gang stalkers are. And as I've shown in Ontario, they're holding office, and they're also surrounding as a population. And I have heavily documented hundreds of them in Ontario, and the entire city of Ontario is being prosecuted. This is exactly what the entity is deserving of, what they've shown that they are, and they will be treated under federal and state laws accordingly. Ways in which to remove them from the threat that they pose to society. And no one is going to feel sorry for them. You are witnessing what is that ongoing necessity based on your understanding of what terrorists are doing in the United States. This is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 10:17 p.m. All right, just as an aside, the entity is stalking with activity, criminally monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. That's an act of terrorism that the people of the state share and that the companies share. And that's terrorism and furtherance of murder when you're stalking with the police. So the entity is engaging in this with the 280 North Limit Apartments. That's the John Stewart apartment complex. They start getting out their car as I approach them. These are demons that are monitoring. They're psychopaths that engage in the pattern of conduct while not talking to you, talking to each other, smiling, laughing, and all they're doing is monitoring. And so is the Saris Regis Group, the Downtown Ontario Luxury Apartment, 6 Nancy David 053. This is P.O.C. Alrighty? That's the pattern of conduct. This is the entity that's stalking with the government in furtherance of murder, population that you do not know that's keeping you under surveillance. And they do that while they murder you as well. They're incentivized when they're being paid by terrorist leaders like Tracy Banks and Jason Fields, etc. The entities it's sharing in that, so are the Ontario Police Department. They're paid stalkers as well. This is the act of terrorism in the U.S. If they're not American citizens, they're being deported. These are enemies that don't belong in this country. This is P.O.C. Here's my shadow here. Here's my shadow here. They're stalking. The entity is stalking by helicopter, and they're doing so with the population, and that population is being prosecuted as terrorists. That's Metro 102 stalking, okay? Aiming light. This is the act of terrorism they're monitoring. Okay, one after another, psychopathic pacing. And this is where the Ontario International Airport is stalking me by flying over me while the fake moon moves as I move. They're stalkers. P.O.C. Here's the fake moon. And there's the entity stalking. This is the third time the Ontario police is why I'm capturing video, because they keep flying over me over and over and over again. And it is no mistake. This is the fake moon right here hovering over the edge of the Ontario Town Square Amphitheater. Right? No longer library. No longer, it's not over the El Bacon, this building over here where the airport is stalking. And Mike Lorenz is maintaining helicopter activities, stalking and harassing and psychologically torturing, also sexually violating. Is engaging in sexual assault and battery on behalf of the Ontario police. They're sitting in the vehicle, engaging in surveillance and furtherance of murder with a police department, which is their pattern of conduct. The people of the state that are terrorists. The police department is being disbanded. That's the third time they're flying back and forth over me while I am in the midst of capturing screenshots while the entity is stalking at 665 Yale Avenue this morning, while the entity is stalking at what is the Deco Richardson Family Memorial at G Street in Laurel, while the entity is stalking here at the Ontario Town Square, and I'm showing you the license plates of those that are subject to federal prison engaging in stalking with that police department. The Ontario police are flying over my head over and over and over again. This is the third time under the fake moon that's specifically over me, not moving while the rest of these demons are moving all around, pacing all around me. I am the target, and I am a target of a police department that's being disbanded. Okay, they are very much obsessed with my vagina. This is what you need to know about Mike Lorenz. They are homosexual men who are violent sex offenders. They prey upon women, but they are not actually interested in women. They are cult members. They are demon possessed. They're engaged in criminal activity. They are maintaining criminal surveillance and not engaging in law enforcement. And that's what's behind the very clear, what you've witnessed is clear stalking by this agency and their behavior, which is evident of demon possession. That's going to be prosecuted in a court as mental illness. This is P.O.C. It's currently 10:47 p.m. This is the entity that's engaging in this while the fake moon remains over me. And that's the same crime scene at the library. The fake moon over me while these demons are flying over the top of my head and flying in circles. And this is, again, beyond any sort of coincidence. Here's my shadow on the ground here. Here's my shadow up here on the wall here. Multiple shadows over here. Fake moon over the top of my head. They're demon possessed, okay? They have lost their mind with regard to the playing in witchcraft. Playing in demonic spirits. They're demon possessed, and you're witnessing me embarrass them because they are absurdly psychotic and they are not even able to control their impulses with regard to wanting to engage in violence against me. But I keep documenting it, and they're being disbanded, and everybody's stalking me with that agency. Like the people of the state are going to prison. P.O.C. It's currently 10:48 p.m. and everybody that I'm documenting, including the demon that's at Yale and Campus Avenue, threatening me to call the stalkers. He's stating, I'm going to call the police on you, while he's stalking me with the police, including where he lives. Okay? You're going to prison for these things. These are acts of terrorism. The entity is mentally ill. That's what's stalking me. They are mentally ill. They're all stalking. They are the people of the state. They're stalkers. P.O.C.